Welcome to Remember the Cant, where we three
Idiots? No.
amigos. Which franchise are we in? Trekkies? It's been so long, guys. It's been so long since we
Millers?
started this.
For one moment, you forgot what species we are, I think.
Yeah, we mill about
Oh boy,
the
can tell.
inner belt region of the solar system. And as we do it, we have reached episode 7, titled Windmills, which is another one of those Don Quixote references. And if it was not too on the nose, they literally showed the book Don Quixote in the.
Guys, if you didn't get the
If
references,
you didn't get the references,
the
here's a paperback.
reference.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and they had to show how much of an idiot Holden was to model himself after Don Quixote. Yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are in this journey of ours. Bala and Parvati here with us, as they have been for the last 6 episodes. So now, Parvati, what do you think about this
Yeah.
episode?
So I enjoyed this. It was the right mix of suspense, and there were also a lot of frustrating moments, particularly when the spy is discovered in the hold, and then you don't know what he's up to, and then you have this altercation between Holden and Amos. Very frustrating somehow. And you also have these scenes where Christian goes to Holden's family. This is the first time we're actually seeing where he's grown up, and it is an interesting scene because you get to see that despite Holden having these 8 people as his parents, one person cares for him more than everybody else, and she's the one who gave him that idea to just flee and to escape life on Earth. And there were a lot of I thought a lot of hidden touches over there because you have Christian playing mind games, and then you have Amos and having that altercation with the spy, and then Miller, of course, still obsessed with Julie. It didn't go anywhere as such. It was kind of
Yeah.
like a filler episode, but an interesting one. I liked it. Bala?
When I saw the top view of Christian with the red thing on the white snow blanket, it reminded me of, I don't know why, but Revenge of the Sith, where they show the top view of Darth Vader, who, I mean, from Anakin Skywalker become Darth Vader, and there's this intense music, and it felt like that. Anyway, the episode, yeah, like you said, it doesn't propel the story forward per se, but I like the only thing that I liked and cared about in this whole episode was what happened in Rossi. The tension, the woohoo at the end, and all that. That was what I cared the most in this episode. Christian motivation, all that, yeah. It's like, is it done? Is it done? I just like next, come on, guys. Are you done? Oh, okay, done. Yes, now back to Rossi. Let's watch what's going on. And of course, I found that spy to be absolutely annoying and obnoxious, but maybe that's what his character is. That's what his character is. I liked it when Amos punched the crap out of him, leaving hell bullets out of him. That was the most enjoyable moment. I would have done it myself, but I didn't. I'm far away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sumit, what did you think of it?
Like Parvati, I also agreed that it felt like a filler episode because we start off somewhere and come back to the same place as we were in all the three.
Correct.
Only Miller has some
Yeah.
way forward, but
Mm.
it could have been done in one scene if you are doing like a. But I think we needed more introspection from him to
Yeah.
of to show his frustration. I don't know what a sparrow means yet, so even though I'm watching this for the second time, so it maybe it's just indication of there is still hope out there, then he can go forth with his quest. Yeah, Rossi ones, yeah, the
You
action
just
was
finished Miller,
peaked,
yeah.
but you know that they're going to get out of it, out of this jam, because this is a very minor jam to get stuck into. But I like the way. I had a question. Rocinante, Amos named the ship Rocinante, right?
No, he said I knew a lady who was very nice.
Yes.
Oh, Holden names
Who's
it Rocinante,
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
and he
suggested the
doesn't.
name, and
Uh,
Amos says he knew somebody by that
yeah,
name.
that's a very bad line delivery that I remember.
Very bad.
Even Amos wished he hadn't said that, but
No,
that's the
I'm sure if they named this ship Polyglottal, he would have said, I knew a lady called Polyglottal.
Polyglot. He apparently knows many ladies, so
Apparently.
yeah.
All with unusual names.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Let's get done with the Earth scene so we can
Oh
take a
dear,
look.
yeah.
uh,
There,
yeah,
there was a trivia in Amazon X-ray which says that both these actresses were born on the same year, same day, same month.
correct. I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're pretty good friends too.
Oh, one
That
hell of
was,
yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
There was some good tension there, except, I think it dragged on a bit and could have been wrapped up a little faster.
Yeah, we get to know that's what she's there only to find out or get inside the mind of this guy who's creating such a ruckus everywhere. So I
Correct.
think I got the idea behind why it is.
Yeah.
And you can see that she's going to do that no matter what. And that's what they're trying
yeah.
to establish.
But
So,
obviously, I think it did take too long. It's not just me feeling it or, the viewer feeling it, because by the time she got out of that farmhouse, trouble had already started and she was helpless to stop it. And they had sent the Black Ops after Holden. So it did take a lot longer than it should have, even within the confines of the story.
hmm,
Yeah.
possibly, yes.
I don't know we never know what her real motivation is, but
Correct.
what was her motivation in trying to establish Holden's character?
And she spent a lot of time antagonizing Mother Elise.
Yeah.
She essentially did waste a lot of time. Then, if she had gone to a more with a more conciliatory tone and tried to befriend them right at the beginning, maybe she would have gotten that information earlier. But she
Mhm.
was very antagonistic. She was taunting them basically. And I feel like that was a little bit unprofessional on her part because she was wasting time. When there is a time
Hmm.
crunch here, you are investigating a possible terrorist threat, you are investigating a possible interplanetary war, and she decides to go this way and taunt them, which will I mean, given her experience, I would have thought that she would have realized that this would take longer because Mother Elise was also pretty stubborn, as we saw.
Hmm. No, I think both of them made up their minds about the other from the word go. And of course, at the end
Correct.
of
Yeah.
it, they're both
Yeah,
wrong, is
true.
what the end was. But what I couldn't get out of my head was the first sight that I had of that Mother Elise was,
Mm.
Rose, get into the boat. She was the same one who was there in Titanic as
Titanic.
Kate
Yeah.
Winslet's mom. So very difficult for me to get into that scene. Like that dialogue kept running in my head. Like, Rose, get into the boat.
I feel like that made more of an impact than the scene here.
I mean, if the I get the gene pool, like 8 people contributing to a gene pool. So is that like their husbands and wives together? How does the social construct
He
work?
has three mothers, right? Three boys.
Yeah, and how many
Five,
fathers? Five
five
fathers?
dads
Yeah,
then.
yeah. I
Five.
think they're all married to each other, legally at least. They're
Oh,
married to each
I
okay.
other.
don't.
Yeah,
They said it was because of a trick to pull to get the land rights. I didn't get
correct.
that,
Oh,
It
how
okay.
was
that
for
works.
a political motive, so that they get this, I believe it was to get the farm, if I'm not mistaken, and to have these land rights.
Oh, it's
That
like
is
one
why
of
they
those
entered,
tax
yeah,
thingies. Okay.
Yeah.
correct. And so that is why they entered into this partnership. So I think on paper, legally, they're all married to each other. But I assume
Um,
they have subgroups within that because
It's
they
probably
never,
they live the best life of anyone we've seen
yeah,
on this show.
yeah,
correct. Yeah, everyone else on. Oh, no, actually, the politicians seem to be live.
Politicians seem
Yeah,
to be,
yeah,
but these are people without power, right? Seemingly
correct,
correct.
political power.
correct,
Yeah.
exactly. This is
And this
the.
is the one place that Holden wanted to get out of.
Hmm. Hmm.
Did he want to get out of, or was Mother Elise was the one who
Maybe
said,
she fed him some ideas to get him out of there before he was earthbound or trapped or something. Knowing him, I don't know.
yeah. maybe.
Get onto the boat. Okay, I've overdone
Also,
it.
why was the plane? Was this is do they hold some kind of autonomous rights over that land because the plane could not enter a
Yeah.
particular region?
I
Maybe it
think
is
that
private
was,
property. I mean, that
oh
that
yeah,
totally
I mean,
applies, right? Private property, you can't land anything there.
also I think that they would be less willing to talk if they saw all those planes, and so Christian told them to stay out of sight, which is causing all sorts of problems with security. Which, when we
Hmm.
hear the dispatches between them, it seems that the security wants to come in, and she's telling them not to, and they were staying out of
The
sight.
security
Yeah,
said we can't come in.
we
The
can't come in.
usage of
Yeah,
can't is
I got the as a feeling that they actually she was violating some security by going in there. Also,
Hmm.
maybe it has something to do with private property.
Yeah, Christian
probably.
is known for obeying rules anyway. She bends
Oh
and
yeah,
breaks rules at her whim, right? To get whatever she wants to get.
yeah,
So this is one more of those. So I'm clearly she's violated like 5 or 6 different laws,
at
Yeah.
least,
at
at
least,
least.
yes.
The
Okay.
trouble with her is you never know what her motivations are. Like we said before, breaking a rule must be cakewalk for her because that's just part of the game.
Yeah, she says, I want to understand your son or get your son.
Hmm.
That's what she says.
Understand? She wants to get into his head, apparently.
Hmm.
But I'm also a little surprised by her conclusion that she's the first person who, one of the few people who actually says that Holden is not responsible for all those uh, tragedies and accidents that happen. So
Hmm.
obviously she does have some kind of insight in spite of all her, abrasive speaking and her confrontational manner. She does understand something on some level because she was probably the only one there who very conclusively and made the correct decision that Holden is not responsible for this, but then it was too late.
Hmm.
But she didn't have anything to go off from, right?
It's mostly
To
intuition, right?
base that on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly intuition and her insights from talking to Mother Elise.
Hmm.
I think she came to the conclusion that he cannot be a criminal mastermind. He may be able to do a lot of things, but from whatever his mom told her, she was able to figure out, put things together, and then come to this conclusion that he cannot be a terrorist mastermind. Definitely
Hmm.
not.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's what she
Or
says.
any kind of
yeah,
mastermind like that guy.
As we all
He
know.
can be both a
yeah,
criminal and a terrorist, but
yeah.
masterminds is a stretch.
That,
So
Nah, yeah, everyone outside of that world knows that, but none of them inside the world know that. Okay, all right. Mm, what about Miller? I can see that he was really frustrated at the start. Take me to the docks, and he yells and shouts and everything like that. And then suddenly he's confronting Anderson Dawes, and
mm.
he says, patron saint of lost causes.
that,
What did you guys think about this?
why does he treat the train as an Uber? Like it's a
the,
train. It will go where it should go. Why are you yelling
the
at it?
lady very politely and aptly said, Kirpa bahar nikle.
Yeah, in very bad Hindi.
Yeah, bad Hindi.
It's Yeah, it's just Hindi. Let's use it. Whatever accent doesn't matter. All
Doesn't
wrong.
matter.
Just Hindi. How much does it take to just do it properly? What is kirpa? I
Uh,
I thought I heard it wrong. Then she repeats it, saying, "No,
Yeah,
I
she
got
very
it wrong.
helpfully
yeah, no,
repeated it.
no.
Yeah.
I really got it. I got it wrong, not you."
Yeah.
That was fun. Uh,
I feel like Miller is littering the place with those little devices. He has way too many of them, and he
Now
records
he's
all sorts. He's
throwing
just
them.
tossing them, throwing them here and there. He needs a
Yeah.
10 billion fine for this littering.
And now that he's outside the force, does
Hmm.
him breaking into Julie's apartment not trigger anything? Like he literally breaks into it. He doesn't even
He
have a
does.
key, right?
Correct, he
He just
doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. Now he's
conveniently
just.
everybody disappears, all the alarms are off, nobody sees him, and he just goes in. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. His
He does not
obsession is
find
there.
anything there, right?
Yeah.
Except
Except
for the
for,
message.
yeah. Which, that message, by the way, was a little bit, felt like he was reading the script, the transmission.
Yeah, the guy, right?
Semi.
Yeah.
I don't know if he comes back later, but it felt
Yeah, he
like
does. He
this
does.
is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acha. Yeah,
Uh,
it felt like this is my one shot at a major TV
Yeah.
show. I should give it my all, and then he
Let me
fucks it
read
up.
it.
He just reads it.
Spoiler alert, but he dies.
Oh
Oh
shit.
no. So much for reading.
Yeah.
Yes, time is limited, so he has to make good of it.
Make most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who reads from lines, he
Yeah.
gets earmarked in IMDb for that. Yeah.
He, what did he sell exactly at the pawn shop when he needed some credit or some cash or something, right? So he did
Yeah.
These
dump a
were
lot of
the
things. Yeah.
gambling chips that he got
Yeah.
as bribes.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
There's a
he
lot of
gets
that.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
A good catch. I thought it was like one of those. Yeah, I thought it was one of those arcade game things. Like they put it in a
Ah.
slot and.
Oh yeah, those tokens.
And that's directly below his house, right? Because
Yeah.
when Octavia comes looking
Yes,
for him near his house, right? So
Yes.
right.
she finds him there.
Yeah. Oh, Octavia. I wrote it as octopus. Okay. God.
She did have half the necessary limbs to be an octopus.
Oh my God. Octavia. See, my notes reads octopus. Okay. I, uh,
Everyone needs a nickname, I think,
and what's
like
this
that.
Tavi that I've written? It's so long ago. It's all your fault, Sumit. That, this is why
But
I've written octopus.
Tavi is the
But
middle
Tavi
part
is the character. Huh?
of
Yeah.
Octavia.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Octavia.
Octavi.
That's
Oh, Octavia. Okay.
yeah.
But she wants to come along, but he says, no, this I have to do on my own, or some such thing, he says.
I think that's kind of a foreshadowing that he's heading into certain doom or something like that.
Yeah.
That she
Mm.
wants to go with him, and he prevents her from going with him because of he has some foreshadowing probably that he's heading into something dark and he may not come out of that.
Mm.
Sort of hangs up his signature hat.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Where will
who's
he stash
yeah.
secret chips and
I,
SD cards?
I know he's totally changed his appearance and everything by going for this. I guess it's a new start for him in some ways
Yeah.
because he left everything behind, including the hat, which defined him because he was being called Detective Chapeau. And
Chapo,
now,
yes.
yeah, and he's now left everything behind his life, his hat, his
Ah.
personality, everything has been left
Where is he
behind, and
going to
he's going
hide the
towards
data
this.
chips from now on? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
His also he's embraced his belter identity, right? That's what
Yeah,
Dawes also says.
Right.
he does say that you're one of us. And so usually changes like that are pretty final because he seems to, he's doing all kinds of reckless things and he's going into the unknown, but it also feels like it's very final for him.
So is he after the truth or is he after the obsession with Julie? Which one is it which is driving forward? Both. I don't
I
know
think
if
it's
the
Julie.
truth seeker. Hmm.
I
I
think,
don't think he has anything going on other than finding Julie.
Ah, it has become the purpose.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like, primarily it's Julie. He eats Julie, he drinks Julie, he's dreaming Julie, it's always Julie. And
Hmm.
also the finding the truth idea is something that he uses maybe to justify his obsession with Julie.
Right, that's the
So
logical part. Hmm.
he's trying to find some meaning. Julie is a meaning, and he has attributed all of these qualities to her, and he's completely obsessed. But he also needs to kind of convince himself that it's not just an obsession. So he's maybe telling himself that, yeah, he needs to find the truth. He has to get to the bottom of this. Nobody else is doing it, and I'm doing this all by myself. But basically, it's the obsession with June.
Is that old Malayalam song?
Which
Julie.
Malayalam.
Hindi Malayalam, it was translated. It was dubbed,
Oh,
right?
I've seen only the Hindi version.
I hope they don't sing this on, in a TV series, because they are going to butcher all our languages.
All
Not just
languages.
Doesn't matter whose mother tongue, whose language it is, they're going to mess it up anyway.
Mess
they're
it
gonna
up,
mess
yeah.
it up. Yeah.
We should get a Chinese guy who speaks
Comment
Mandarin to
on
see
the Chinese used, yeah.
the butchering of Mandarin.
There might be a little more careful, I feel.
Yeah.
They might be.
Yeah, because we can throw it on the other languages. Like, at least they didn't butcher our language. Like, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. We have hundreds to choose from.
25 more.
Correct.
You can do it for 2, there are 25
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the Miller portion is done.
Is done, yes.
So we can, I guess, bash the spy and hold it.
Yes. I really like this love tap to target lock. That's what I've written in bold thing. He says, what's his name? Alex says, oh, they're just giving a love tap. And Amos immediately butts in and says, oh, it might easily become a target lock.
Yeah.
So, thus warning everyone that there's a real danger here. But like you guys said, I mean, this is everything is just a mind game. Nothing really has happened. They moved in space, yes, but everything is on paper. You see it all on graphics. It's like that, what's it, Gordon Levitt's movie, 7500. Everything happens in the cockpit, right? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
The fantastic movie, 7500.
No.
The entire movie is shot inside the cockpit. And it's a hijacking. 7500, I think, is the code for hijacking. And so his girlfriend is the flight attendant. I should use the correct term. Flight attendant, and she gets killed, and the terrorists get in, and then he has to overpower them, but still keep the flight in check and all that. But the whole thing is shot from within the cockpit. This episode is sort of like that. You see only two different places. One is the, what is that? The boot? What is that ship? The boot space? No, that's in a car. It can't be a spaceship. Wherever that spy was hiding. Okay, that thing. The hold, hold sounds better than a boot.
Yeah.
I get it. Hold. Is that way it is? Okay. Okay.
This is catchy. This is catchy.
What was that spy trying to do with the locks? Was he trying to mess up the ship itself, or was he trying to just free himself?
No, he was sending transmission codes back to Earth.
Not there, but in the last scene, the
when he was in the airlock.
Did he send more codes, or was he trying something else?
I thought it was like a Hail Mary pass to blow up the ship or give its coordinates.
Because that's what I thought. It's something to reveal their position.
If he was being jetted out of the airlock, like spaced, if that was Amos's and the crew's decision, then he would have done that, whatever he was doing. But at the last moment, when Amos said that crew needs you, he cancelled whatever he was planning. That's what I got.
Or he could have been rigging it in such a way that if his life is in danger, he'd have some sort of control over the ship and they would have to do what he says. Maybe. It could have been. It seemed pretty complicated, whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
Not a simple maneuver. And honestly, the jokes about him needing to use the bathroom actually fell a little flat. I didn't care much for that.
Yeah. I still got to pee. It's like useless. That didn't play for me also.
It didn't land at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was funny.
He was trying to be funny a lot. That.
I mean, I feel like Amos should have been allowed to do some more. Yeah.
The I think
You could
the
have peed in the airlock. I'm sorry, but why do you care about anyone else's equipment? Just pee in the airlock. It's your final moments. Why does it matter?
And given how many times he mentioned,
He,
yeah, what kind of control is this man?
yeah, he has great bladder control.
Yeah,
Or
he's
is
so
that what he's trying to do with those controls? Like the dogs dig a hole, he's trying to clear off stuff
Clear of stuff.
to make. Maybe I will sabotage a ship, but at least I get to relieve myself.
Also, this eye, can't they see that he has like the bionic eye?
The spy tech, huh? I don't know.
I mean, you can see it moving and it seems so
Yeah,
obvious, right? And he's staring in a very odd way. I think you would know that he's up to no good. But of course, I mean, maybe that's why he did it on Holden.
No.
Holden wouldn't notice.
the smartest guy in
Yeah,
the ship.
ever.
Yeah. Uh, there was
He
one
should have
point where
yeah.
when Naomi says that she's feeling upwards to the
I
level
didn't
of
get
her
that
Ah,
at all. I have no
What
idea.
did she do exactly? That what was the smart thing she did? I didn't get that.
she, I think, stopped the ship from hailing other Martian ships as friendlies. I think the ship automatically pings
Ah,
nearby other Martian ships,
Oh,
warships,
on its
and
own.
yeah, on its own, and to show itself as a friendly vessel. So she
Hmm.
disabled that.
oh,
Oh.
she showed it made it show other ships as enemies or targets, so they get warned
Yeah,
about it.
correct. She disabled that whatever system it
Ah,
had up to that point. She disabled
Ah,
it so
okay,
that
makes sense.
yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
so that their cover is not blown.
But they pinged anyway because this guy was transmitting something from the
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think they just picked up on that, right? He was transmitting to Earth, and
Earth.
then
Yes.
yeah.
so which was very clever because you broadcast all over the place and all the Martian ships around it picked up on that. Then
Yeah, a great spy.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
very clever.
So it was said that one of my, I don't know, grandmother's relatives, somebody, they wanted a private place to change, after their bath. So this woman didn't know much, so she went to the balcony and changed.
Oh no!
She didn't know it was out there.
Oh
But
my
you just
God!
turn around and
She
it's
is turning around happily this side. She's like,
Oh
oh,
my
very nice
God!
private space. I like this.
Yeah.
oh shit.
Turned out to be a balcony.
Wow.
Well, at least we can
She'll
excuse
get
her. She's not a spy.
yeah.
But come on, 75
Yeah.
year old woman, so it's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
But this one, the spy did that, right? Spy,
yeah, he did that. It was a
secret
very
only
similar
our
thing.
guy should show. So, but he transmits everywhere. That everybody picks up.
And honestly, that scene where he comes on board and then he gives them information about these words, passcodes that they can use against a Martian ship. It was so unconvincing. It was just there. It just got them out of his bad situation just like that. And he just happened
Yeah.
to know something like this, which
Hmm.
even I don't know. It didn't. It was very unconvincing. I would have preferred they got captured. That would have been more realistic.
But otherwise, there is
Yeah.
no way of them knowing that such a thing even exists. That
Like
Yeah.
Alex could have
Correct. Alex. I
Alex
wasn't
knows
getting his
it.
name. Yeah.
so at the end
Alex
he
the
picks
donkey
there are
balls.
two
Yeah.
scrolls and he picks one. Okay, and he says this is
Uh,
the one. He doesn't explain. He just says this has to be the one. So yeah,
yeah.
you're right. They could have made Alex do it. The spy
Correct. It
needn't
seemed
have said that.
Alex has so much information about all of these Martian warships, and he knew what the spy was talking about when he started. So it would have made more sense if he had somehow had access this, these passcodes. But then you had a lot of banging, a lot of unnecessary suspense, and with the Martian ships out
Yeah.
there threatening them, and just as they're ready to board, they get the words. It was a little too convenient.
Hmm.
It screams a filler. Like even if you're
Yeah,
writing a big
correct.
400-page novel,
Yeah,
this scene would be there to
yeah.
justify some sort of rising falling action in there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You have to
But
go, you have to show the
yeah,
passage of time somehow. You
correct.
can't just be there eating,
I
sleeping on the ship.
you the one
Three
thing that
days later.
bothered me a
Yeah,
little bit, right?
But I
You
just
know,
said
once
3 days later. I don't have.
yeah, absolutely. No, the thing with that scene was what kind of bothered me. It was like the Rocinante naming scene. You give
Hmm.
it doesn't quite fit. And then it
yeah,
felt to me a bit like Amos saying, I knew a woman called Rocinante. It somehow,
He was nice to me. Don't forget
yeah,
that.
was nice to me. It gave me that same impression. This spy suddenly knows all the inner workings of a Martian warship and says, look here, it, it felt out of place to me from a
Hmm.
storytelling perspective.
yeah.
Possible.
And the thing, this episode was written by the authors of the book.
Yes, yes. So I noticed.
Yeah, which goes to
Eh,
show how different script writing is
Yeah,
from writing a
authors shouldn't
novel.
write
Yeah.
screenplays.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway message of this.
Okay, I get you.
Uh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I had. So I
So,
finally figured out that key from Lopez. What's the use of that? Because they show it,
Yeah,
Johnson
oh,
removing it from the body and all that. No, finally it's been
mm,
used. But
yeah.
of course, it
it
was
didn't matter.
you needed a
Yeah.
24-digit code, which nobody knew. And Lopez is gone.
Gone. Yeah.
Have to
And
remember 24-digit code. What kind
who
of
does
a
that?
maniac?
Yeah.
24
Remember
digits.
the 24-digit code.
And even then, it's a very fallible security system, right? Because you're still relying on.
Two crowbars and a lunatic OPA or
Yeah,
ex-OPA agent is all it took.
it's all it took.
That's all it took.
You, they had such bad two-factor authentication key and a
Yeah.
code. That's
Yeah.
how, even now, that's a bad security measure.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I think this is the second time we are using brute force where we are locked out or something. Because in the previous episode, we had transmission problems and then use a crowbar. That's it. Bang everything back into
Yeah,
functionality.
even in the
This was
first
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
couple
the
of episodes, he
night.
kicks
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
he kicks the
Correct.
satellite
Exactly.
antenna.
antenna.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and it starts working. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. When in doubt, beat it.
Yeah, yeah, it's the old cowboy way.
Yeah.
Kick on the
I
side.
think three,
Okay.
three of them, three of the guys are cowboys only. Like one is a brute fighter guy.
All
One
right.
Yeah.
literally grew up on a farm, and one says hee haw a lot.
He does.
He talks in a southern
Literally.
drawl for some
Yeah.
reason, being a Martian.
I can't imagine how the Martians fell for that. Okay, he gave the code, but anybody would have been so mad with that stalling.
Yeah, you should have suspected something, right?
Yeah,
Seriously.
they should have. I, I mean, an intelligent captain might have guessed that they're searching for the codes while stalling.
Yeah,
Safe travels, he says at the end.
Yeah. We also had that scene with Holden and Amos almost coming to blows. It's typical to pick a side there, but definitely not Holden.
So he says, I'm going to kill you if you kill people. Is that what
Yeah.
his equation there?
yeah. He has very weird morals,
Yeah.
Holden,
Yeah.
because he's okay jeopardizing the life of one of his own crewmates, in and keeps the lives of the two Martians who he doesn't even know, and who
Yeah.
probably can kill him
That's true. Yeah.
above his own crew.
And he was okay to do that on Tycho because he also was
Yeah.
holding a gun there, right? Amos was there,
Yeah,
he was also there. Both of them were aimed, trained their gun on whoever is coming, walking in. That's okay, but this is not okay.
He's really fumbling because his ultimate solution is to go to Naomi and say, "You control him." So, how do you? That's That's not a very. I didn't think that was very reassuring because he's a captain. He should know how to somehow get his crew to toe the line, not go to another crew member and say, "You control this guy," just because.
Yeah. And Emo still doesn't recognize him as the captain.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think
No wonder.
any
Yeah.
formal thing has happened yet, right? Naming him
Correct.
skipper or any such
No.
thing. They're not part of
No
a
such thing.
formal army or unit
Yeah.
anyway. So there's no formal hierarchy to go
And
here.
for some reason, it all falls to him though, because he has to make the final call. And I don't think he's being very convincing. So even Amos knows that because he's pointing the gun at Amos's head and he
Hmm.
knows that Holden is not going to shoot. He doesn't
Hmm.
have that extra something to, take a decision like that. So, like
Hmm.
Sumit said, he does have some very weird morals. You never know where he's going. He's just completely unpredictable, which is also a
Yeah.
little dangerous.
Hmm.
He has those DC superhero morals of we can't
Yeah.
kill anyone
Hmm.
while while they badly injure, cripple people for life. But we can't kill anyone.
Can't kill anyone. Yeah.
Literally two ships worth of people died because of you in
Yeah.
that.
And his decision. And now he's here saying, no, we cannot let people die. How very
We can't
noble of
actively
him.
let
Yeah,
people die because I will have to
let's
live
do it
with the
passively. Yeah,
guilt of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
only
let's passively
100,000.
wipe out the entire solar system. Actively, no, I'm not going to kill.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think
Very
his
weird.
presence kills people than his
Mm,
gun. His mere presence.
That's why his mother sent him out. Like,
yeah,
move
out, out.
We're
because
going
I
to
know
kill
what's going to
people
happen to
here.
me
Yeah,
if you
We have
stay
a
here.
town of 100,000 people. All we left is this 8. I don't want you here.
true. And if a Christian thinks that he is not a terrorist, then of course, I guess, kindred spirits and all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Red Queen. Okay.
Mm,
I'm done talking about this episode.
yeah,
Yeah, at the end they find this rock with Anubis or whatever it is that is parked on it. Or
yeah.
have they
And
found it?
he
I
does say it's a rock.
It's
Yeah,
a
he does
rock.
say it's a
That's
rock.
it.
Very profound dialogue that it's
Yeah,
a rock.
we got ourselves a rock.
Yes, we got ourselves a rock.
And how do they know how to land there? Because that's the coordinate they got last? No. How do they know where to go?
Wasn't that
No,
given to
he
them by
was
Fred Johnson? Yeah,
Fred Johnson gave them the coordinates to
correct.
find the last known
Known
person to be
position.
on Anubis. What was his name?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Floris or something.
Um, yeah.
What was his
Okay.
name?
Polanski. It's not
Lionel,
Polanski, yes.
Lionel.
Polanski.
Lionel
Yeah.
Polanski. So
They
they're
were set
out to
there.
find
Yeah,
him. That's their mission.
correct. And the coordinates Fred Johnson gave, and they just had to not blow their cover, which they didn't do very well. But
Hmm.
they have themselves a rock. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
trivia worth mentioning. I think there are a whole bunch of trivia mentioned in that website, fandom
No, I
website.
went through them. It's okay. There's
Nothing.
one character called Samantha Rosenberg, which apparently was there in the TV episode, but not in the one, or in the sci-fi episode,
mm,
but not in the one which aired in Prime. But her
Oh,
credit is still there.
okay. Yeah.
okay. So we didn't see her.
We didn't see
We
her,
didn't
yeah.
see her. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Amos mentioned something about the churn.
Hmm.
I
He
thought
does. He
was
does.
just a normal expression, but there's a novella called The Churn.
Mm.
Part of the same series.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I see.
Mm. And that Samantha Rosenberg character I mentioned is a much bigger role in the books.
Okay. No, I like
They
Amos
have,
as a character later, but he's just
Mm.
starting out now. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Other
had
than
some.
that, even the trivia writers, I think, gave up on this episode because
There's nothing much. There's just a
there's
filler
nothing
not
much.
going anywhere.
We
Not
need to fill
being,
a page, guys. Come
Uh,
on, dig it
yeah.
up. You can do it.
yeah,
It really didn't go anywhere. You could have finished it in 5 minutes. That's all that actually happened. But we
yeah,
had to sit through the guy's bathroom jokes and everything.
And Miller's first trip out of series,
Yeah.
say that's
yeah,
he's a bit
The
scared.
only thing of major significance that we saw is him getting rid of the hat. Now he can't hide things. That that
yeah.
that was the only thing that stood out to me as
Right.
such. Seeing him
Major character
hatless.
change.
Yeah,
We don't see any
exactly.
other characters change. Like Holden is still antagonistic towards
Mm.
Amos. That is again repeated in this episode
Right.
Yes.
to reinforce that idea.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Amos doesn't recognize Holden's authority. Even that we knew.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. Naomi is great at everything she does. She's
Right.
the Hermione between these
Yeah.
idiot boys.
Hermione. Oh,
Yeah.
the Hermione of the Expanse. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the character that's the trope many female characters fall into, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're the lone female between a bunch of idiot boys, the boys
Right.
are there to do adventure. You are there to rein them in. So you
Yeah.
have to be Leia
Ah,
Skywalker. You have to be
okay.
Hermione,
Exactly. You have to be
Makes sense.
level-headed and all of that.
level-headed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to see a girl character be an idiot too. Like
Yeah.
equally an idiot as
I
much as
know.
Equally an idiot. Equal
With
rights.
Disney doing calling the shots everywhere, you're not gonna get that.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't get to be
This is
reckless. The female characters don't get to be reckless because
Yeah. They're a little too safe, right? I think
yeah,
it's a little sheltered.
well,
Too
Julie was
sheltered.
that, right? Julie was this spoiled
Yeah.
brat
But
who
the
didn't
problem
compete.
with
we're not
Julie is,
following her story, right? She's the
yeah,
renegade.
Yes.
exactly.
In fact, she has
She's
very
out there,
little screen time.
and
I mean,
that's why in some case she falls into the damsel in distress trope, and that's
Yeah.
why Miller it becomes Miller's one sole objective.
right, right.
To
Very
rescue
true.
her. Yeah.
Very true. That's true.
So
So,
it,
It's
it
like
almost felt like, she is reckless and see, she's gotten into this mess. And
yeah,
now we need someone like Miller to get her out of it.
get her out of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Is this extreme or that extreme? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, it has so few female characters this show, and they just
Hmm.
slide into the tropes that we already know of.
Mm.
Hmm.
But they
And
get better as at least Naomi's character gets
yeah,
more deeper
Yeah, there
yeah,
as
yeah,
the show
she
goes
does.
on. But
yes.
Yeah,
this
she
first
does.
season does not do her any favors.
No.
And in many ways, even Christian is kind of a stereotype because she is a type of woman who is ruthless. So she will
Yeah,
do anything
brash,
kind of.
ruthless,
Yeah,
Yeah,
mm,
it's
get away
it's
with
a
anything. I want
getaway.
to get this done at whatever cost.
Yeah, that kind of character, which is
Yeah.
also quite familiar, not particularly unique.
Hmm.
what was unique in this episode was her evoking her dead son.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The vulnerable side
that
of
was
the
well,
yeah,
yeah,
I
motivation behind
liked that part of it.
portion of it.
Yeah,
But
it.
she's also very clever because she waited until that moment to
yeah,
pull the.
she knew what she was doing.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
knew what
yeah,
to
yeah.
say. Yeah,
So on
exactly.
seemed like she knew which piece to move at what time. It's almost like
Yeah,
a chess
Yeah,
game, right? So
yeah,
okay,
that's
all I
exactly.
went
even
through this intimidation tactics and the usual nonsense. And okay, now's the time for okay, guys, take
Yeah,
she
your
even knew that Ellis would ask, "Why did you play this card
yeah,
now?"
exactly. So just as she's being thrown out, she plays that card so that she's not
Yeah.
thrown out.
All right,
Nice
thanks,
advice.
folks. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode, whatever that is. What is it now?
What's it called?
Whatever that is.
I think
It's called
salvage.
Salvage. Yeah, from this
Yeah.
episode has to be called Salvage. I think that's aptly titled.
I don't know why it's called Windmills though. Do you know why the title is Windmills?
Everybody's floundering.
I think we went
Yeah.
one full circle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
reached nothing, right?
We didn't get
Pretty.
anywhere. Everybody's floundering. For our slashing at windmills, nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So great way to salvage the podcast, guys, after a long break. So
But
we'll meet.
yeah, do
Yeah, we
we
just
that I don't think is known that it's a long break, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know. Maybe the length of my hair is an indication because I haven't cut my.
Indicator.
If I have flowing locks by the end of this podcast, so they'll know that a long time has passed. Uh,
Okay.
okay. Goodbye, everyone, and don't forget to remember the cant.
Remember the cat, or else.
Or else.